Hello, everyone. Today is October 18th. It's currently 9:02 Texas time, and it is a pre-recorded live. Just wanted to let you know that this is a pre-recorded live. Um, but I thank you all for watching this live. I'm going to give you some updates on three cases that we are going to talk about tonight, and then tomorrow we are going to have the big podcast of Ellen Greenberg and what happened to Ellen Greenberg and why is the court saying that it's a suicide when, in my opinion, that is not a suicide. So the first case tonight that we are going to be talking about is the 5-year-old little girl who was beaten, assaulted, and scalped over in Cleveland, Ohio. So an investigation is ongoing after an Ohio mother reported her 5-year-old daughter was beaten, assaulted, and scalped. Police say the suspects are under the age of 10. This has very graphic stuff, very graphic warning, trigger warning. Viewer discretion is advised. So, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, but Antiva Kennebrew says she found her 5-year-old daughter beaten and abused. For her daughter's safety, the mother is not sharing the girl's name, but describes her as bubbly and sweet. I'm sorry. I literally saw the worst thing ever. I saw my daughter unrecognizable. Kennebrew said, I couldn't wrap my head around it. The mother says she dropped her 5-year-old. She dropped her daughter off. I'm sorry. On backtrack. The mother says she dropped her daughter off September 13 at a family member's home in Cleveland. Somehow the 5-year-old walked out of the front door and was allegedly badly beaten by a group of kids. When Kennebrew found out, she was rushed over and saw EMS treating her daughter several blocks over. What I saw was unbelievable, she said. My daughter was not my daughter. Her hair was scalped from her head. She had bruises and blood all over her body. Her eyes were filled with blood. Her lips and mouth were filled with blood. Her nails had debris and dirt stuck in it. Cleveland police are investigating but have not yet released many details about the case. They have confirmed that the victim and suspects are under the age of 10. 10 years old. Are you freaking kidding me? The full police statement reads as below. The Cleveland Division of Police Sex Crimes and Child Abuse Unit is actively investigating a case involving multiple children under the age of 10, both as victims and as suspects of the investigation. Given the sensitive nature of their matter, the release of further information at this time could jeopardize the integrity of the investigation and violate the constitutional rights and privacy of those involved. Kennebrew says that the attack left her daughter physically, emotionally, and mentally hurt. The 5-year-old is now in therapy. While her mother is grateful for the support of the community so far, she says she wants help and answers. I want her to just be somewhat of a normal 5-year-old again, Kennebrew said. No charges have been filed in the case. So, that's crazy. So just reading that itself. So, hold up. The mother left her little girl at a family member's home, right? And then somehow the 5-year-old walked out the door without any adults even noticing or paying attention. How does that even happen? Third of all, actually, under 10 years old are the suspects. Mind you, they beat and assaulted and scalped the poor baby. And they're under 10. Are you kidding me? What is happening behind those doors for those kids to be doing that to another little kid? What? I need more details on this case because, what in the... excuse my language, but what in the fuck is going on? So, according to Fox 19, prosecutors charged 2 children, 9 and 10, in the brutal attack on 5-year-old Cleveland girl. So, in Cuyahoga County, prosecutors have charged 2 children, 9 and 10 years old, in connection to the brutal assault of a 5-year-old girl last month. Prosecutors say a 9-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl are facing initial charges of attempted murder, rape, felony assaults, kidnapping, and strangulation. You're telling me a 9-year-old little boy and a 10-year-old little girl did what to a 5-year-old little girl? She's just a baby. Like, that's just a baby. You're telling me they raped her, assaulted her, kidnapped her, and strangled her, and almost, killed her? Are you freaking kidding me? Where did they learn that from? I need to know, where did they learn, like, what is going on behind closed doors for this to be happening, for a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old little girl to be even doing that? Like, what's going on here? The alleged assault took place September 13th in a field near East 148th Street and St. Clair Avenue in Cleveland. Antiva Kennebrew, the victim's mother, previously told 19 News her daughter was beaten, assaulted, and scalped. Is that her hair? She's missing. Oh my God, that poor baby. She described the day saying she dropped her daughter off at a family member's home near East 145th Street and St. Clair Avenue. Somehow her baby girl walked out the front door. Where was the adults? Like, do they not pay attention? Do they not lock the door? Like, when the mother next saw her daughter, she was being treated by first responders. What I saw was unbelievable, said Kennebrew. My daughter was not my daughter. Her hair was scalped from her head. She had bruises and blood all over her body. Her eyes were filled with blood. Her lips and mouth were filled with blood. Her nails had debris and dirt in it. The prosecutor's office not releasing any more information because of the sensitivity of the case. They said they're still going through the evidence and collecting new information. Our team did reach out to Kennebrew's attorney, but have not heard back. But, oh my God, that poor baby. But I'm kind of like, okay, so, hold up. Backtrack. A 9-year-old little boy and a 10-year-old little girl. Like, I can't wrap my, like, what? I need more details. Like, I'm kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on behind closed doors for a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old to think that it's okay to do this to another little kid? Like, where did they see this from? Like, what are, like, put everything aside, all bullshit aside. Who said for them that was okay? Where did they see that from to think that that was okay? Where's their parents? Why was no adults looking at the 5-year-old little girl? Did they not pay attention to her that she left? Like, hello? Oh, look at her. Oh, the sweet baby. So, Ohio prosecutors have charged a 10-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy with attempted murder, rape, assault, kidnapping, and strangulation for a brutal attack on a 5-year-old girl who had her hair pulled from her scalp and was left in the field to die, officials say. Based on the evidence we have currently reviewed, 2 juveniles have been initially charged. Cuyahoga, if I'm saying that right, County Prosecutor's Office said Wednesday in a press release the 2 children allegedly took part in the attack on the young girl with a group of kids. According to the victim's mom, who is now calling for the others to be charged, I pray all kids are able to get prosecuted further down the line, wrote Antiva Kennebrew on Facebook Wednesday after the charges were announced. Kennebrew says her daughter was beaten, raped, and had her hair scalped from her head by several boys and at least one girl. Cops believe the suspects are all under the age of 10. These are not normal kids. Kennebrew alleged on Facebook post last week about her daughter's assault on September 13th. I couldn't believe what I saw in front of me. A distraught mom explained about her child's condition following the attack. My daughter did not look like herself. She was traumatized. A post made by the Cleveland Division of Police on October 7 said its sex crimes and child abuse unit was actively probing the incident, and multiple children under the age of 10 were identified as suspects. Local officials did not respond to long crime requests for comment Wednesday on whether charges will be filed against the others. Themselves and their parents need to be held accountable. Yes. I agree with her. Both the kids and the parents need to be held accountable. Because, and then now hear me out. Their parents, they're only, 9 and 10? Parents are supposed to be monitoring what their kids watch, what their kids do, things like that. Did they see this on a game? Did they see their parents do this? Did something happen to them behind closed doors? Like, for them to think, okay, we're gonna go and harm another little kid, thinking that's okay, and it's not. And also, I would like to speak to the family member that was supposed to be watching the 5-year-old little girl, because did you not pay attention to think that she walked out on her own, or did you not? Were you not watching her? Where were you? Because if she never walked out that house, none of that would have never happened to her. There was another case like this, like a long time ago. I don't remember the case, but I know it was two little boys, and they took, I think it was a little girl or another little boy, and they beat him and stuff and left him for dead. It was a long time ago, that case. I don't remember the name of it. I think they made a movie on it or a documentary. I'm gonna find it, and when I find it, we're gonna talk about it a little bit tomorrow before we get into the Ellen Greenberg case. Hang on. The mom told police she dropped her daughter off that Saturday at a family member's house in Cleveland. The 5-year-old, quote unquote, walked out the front door of the home undetected and was allegedly found by the bigger kids who presented themselves as friendly, according to Kennebrew. Right there. What do you mean she walked out the front door undetected? Did nobody see anything? Like, do they have cameras where it like alarms them, like, hey, someone's at your front door? Like, I'm very, The children took her by her hand and walked her to a field that was far away from the residence. Kennebrew alleged on Facebook, in that field, they beat my daughter until she was unconscious. They ripped out her hair. They held my daughter down as they raped her. They also shoved sticks down her throat and stripped her naked and strangled her with her own shirt. And these are 9, 10-year-olds that did this? Are you kidding me? Kennebrew says the suspects left her daughter in the field and continued, quote unquote, playing in the neighborhood. Her family member noticed that Kennebrew's child was gone and went outside to see if she was in the area, but all she found was the alleged suspects, per Kennebrew. My family member walked up to them and asked them if they saw a little girl. Kennebrew explained they stared at her with no remorse and told her no, and continued playing, knowing that what they had just done to my daughter. Wait, what? Sorry, I was reading that one. Authorities were called, and the children eventually came back over to the family member with one of their parents to explain where Kennebrew's daughter was. According to the mom, Kennebrew was alerted by the relative and rushed over to find EMS treating her daughter several blocks away. Her hair was scalped from her head, she told local CBS affiliate WOIO. She had bruises and blood over her body. Her eyes were filled with blood, and her lips and mouth were filled with blood. Her nails had debris and dirt stuck in it. Kennebrew says the alleged attack left her daughter physically and mentally hurt, with photos posted by the mother showing her hair pulled from the scalp. The young girl is currently undergoing therapy. I just need justice for my daughter, Kennebrew wrote on Facebook. I agree. I want justice for your daughter as well. What is this? A 16-year-old shot newborn daughter twice in the head after covering her with snow, then left her body in the woods. What the heck? Okay, I'm going to come back to that case a different day. But really, like, I'm having suspicions here. Okay, I mean, it makes no sense because, one, so she left the little girl with the family friend, right? The mother. Let's say she went to work, she had to do an errand, she told them, hey, can you babysit her, whatever. Your sole job as a babysitter is to be watching that kid. 5-year-olds, any kid is curious. They see something, they're going to go to it and see what it is, right? I don't get how she walked out with nobody not seeing her. Where was this family member that was supposed to be babysitting her, looking after her? Where was she at? Like, how did you not detect that the child walked out? Like, hello, did you even lock the door? And another thing is what they did to her, these kids. It says right here, they beat her till she was unconscious. They ripped her hair out. Like, literally, we saw the picture where she's missing hair. They held her down as they raped her. They also shoved sticks down her throat and stripped her naked and strangled her with her own shirt. For little kids to be doing that, like I said, who showed them that? Who told them that that's okay to do? What's going on behind closed doors? Why are their parents monitoring what they see, what they do? You know, like, what in the F is going on here? That poor baby, she was a 5-year-old little girl. And you're telling me other kids did this to her? What in the F is going on? Okay, what is going on here? I think not only the kids, but the parents need to be held responsible as well, because at that age, you're supposed to be teaching your kids from right from wrong. And you need to be like, look, raping, assaulting, beating up, strangling is not okay. That's wrong. That's bad. It is bad. I mean, it breaks my heart because she was only 5 years old. Like, oh my God, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart so much. I want to cry. It breaks my heart so bad. I am going to come back to this case. I am going to give you more updates if I get any more updates on this case, but we're going to move on to the next case of tonight. So let me pull it up real quick. So on tonight's stream, I'm going to give you guys another case. This case does involve the babe. It's a baby, actually a 6-month-old. And I actually had the missing flyer, but dang, Twitter decided to just remove it or hide it. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. It's never a not normal stream with my computer. My computer loves to. It just loves to see me fail. They're gonna beat my computer up. Oh, you see what I mean? Like how my computer is just. All right, I'm gonna cut that. Ready, set. This is a restart. Hold on. There we go. Yay. Okay. Go here. Oh, did I not? So another case I want to show on my stream tonight is of, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Nakai Pratt. So Nakai was 6 months old. He has black hair. His eyes are brown. He is height of 2'1", and he weighs 11 pounds. He's just a little baby. He went missing on October 12th of 2025 at approximately 8:27 a.m. Sector 2 officers responded to 100 Valley Hill Road, Riverdale, Georgia, in reference to a missing person. Nakai Pratt was taken from a location by an unknown suspect in an unknown direction. There are no leads to a possible suspect or vehicle information at this time. If you have any information or make contact with Nakai Pratt, please contact the Clayton County Police Department. So everyone was looking for this baby. They're like, hey, you know, he went missing October 12th. You know, nobody knows where he is or anything like that. Well, according to Fox 5 Atlanta, the body of the 6-month-old was found near Riverdale apartment complex. So the body of 6-month-old Nakai Pratt was found 3 days after his father reported a kidnapping in Clayton County. Antonio Pierce, the baby's father, is now considered a suspect and was arrested on unrelated charges. Investigators found inconsistencies in Pierce's story and evidence suggesting possible foul play in the infant's death. So the body of the missing 6-year-old Nakai Pratt has been found 3 days after his father reported to Clayton County Police that the infant was abducted during a robbery. The grim discovery ends an 84-hour search for the twin. Oh, he's a twin. The sibling remains with their mother, who investigators believe is not connected to the case. Antonio Pierce, named suspect in infant's disappearance, but we know the investigators returned to the apartment complex shortly after 4 p.m. Tuesday to conduct another search. Officers spend much of the day reviewing evidence to determine the best place to continue the search. Around 6:30 p.m., officers put up crime scene tape near the dumpster and around the woods adjacent to the apartment complex. It was an apparent officers were searching the area. Oh, look at the baby. By 7 p.m., Clayton County Police confirmed the discovery of the body of 6-month-old Nakai Pratt. So the backstory of it was police confirmed Monday that the baby's father, Antonio Pierce, is now considered a suspect in his disappearance. Pierce was arrested that same day on unrelated charges, including possession of marijuana and multiple traffic violations. Officers were first called to the apartment complex just after 8 a.m. Sunday for what Pierce described as an armed robbery and kidnapping. He told police he had been robbed at gunpoint for his valuables and that the robbers took his baby from the car seat before fleeing. Detectives say inconsistencies with Pierce's statements, along with evidence suggesting possible foul play, shifted the direction of the investigation. Court records show Pierce was previously charged in 2022 with simple battery and cruelty to children. Investigators say they have searched the area around Valley Hill Road for hours on Sunday and Monday, using canine and cadaver dogs, but have no trace of the missing infant. Neighbors react to the missing infant. Neighbors in the community say the disappearance has shaken them. It's devastating for such a little child, helpless, said resident Tracy Karch. I don't think there's going to be a good end to this. Neighbors describe the heartbreaking discovery as devastating for the community. Honestly, I thought it was a worse situation. I was just praying that it wasn't. I'm messed up about it. Another resident, La Miracle, said we bought these kids into this world and expect them to be safe, to who they call their mom and dads. Yep. It is unclear, or it's not clear, Pierce will now be charged in connection to the death and disappearance of his son. Pierce is expected to make his first court appearance Wednesday. Anyone information on the whereabouts of 6-month-old? Oh. I mean, it's so sad. I mean, he was just a 6-month-old baby. If you didn't want him, you could have gave him to his mom, or you could have gave him up for adoption. I mean, the dad had previous charges of child cruelty? If I'm not mistaken, where does it say that? I mean, just that poor baby. So Monday morning, the baby's father was arrested by police on unrelated charges. In the afternoon, police named him a suspect, Antonio Pierce. According to Clayton County Police Department, officers were called to the 100 Valley Hill Road in Riverdale around 8:18 a.m. Sunday after Antonio Pierce told police he had been robbed at gunpoint and that the suspects took his infant son, Nakai, from the car seat before fleeing, but detectives say Pierce's story began to unravel. This is Antonio, guys. Police said intensive searches involving bloodhounds from the Fayette County Sheriff's Office and cadaver dogs from Georgia, Piedmont Region Canine Search and Rescue turned up no sign of Nakai. Detectives also served multiple search warrants at locations believed to be connected to the case, and none yielded results. On Monday, Clayton County officers broadened the search area, reviewing surveillance footage and canvassing neighborhoods for leads. Spalding County Laws Land Air Water Search team joined effort bringing in another cadaver dog. Investigators have now named Pierce, 38, as a suspect in his son's disappearance. He was booked into the Clayton County Jail early Monday on unrelated charges, including marijuana distribution, driving with a suspended license, and child restraint violation. Jail records show he's being held without bond. Police used drones and searched wooded areas throughout the day, but by nightfall there was still no sign of the infant. Authorities have not said what evidence outside Pierce's inconsistency statement led them to suspect foul play in the disappearance of 6-month-old Nakai Pratt. It is not clear if there was actually a robbery. Oh. Could this be another Emmanuel Hartle case? Investigators have not said if officers recovered the infant's car seat or other belongings. Nakai Pratt's twin, Clayton County Police said late Monday that Nakai is a twin, and his twin sibling was never missing and remains in the care of his mother. Investigators determined the mother had no involvement in the disappearance of Nakai. Well, I mean, yeah. if he didn't want the baby, you could have gave the baby to his mom, or a family member who would take care of him. Sorry. Detectives became suspicious due to the inconsistency testimony along with physical evidence that points into the existence of foul play. Clayton County Police said in a statement that at this moment, the facts surrounding the disappearance of baby Nakai Pratt are highly questionable. Neighbors say the story never made sense. If someone broke into your house and ran off with your baby, your neighbors would have heard you screaming, said one woman. Why did you not run after that person? Yep. Residents described an intense police search across the complex on Monday. I've seen them out there just searching, said neighbor. They're actively going into the bushes. I've seen them looking into the trash cans down there. It is also disturbing to have and This is also disturbing to have and keep waking up to see where we're still looking for a 6-month-old baby that can't fend for himself. As the hours drag on, neighbors said their hope is fading. It's devastating. Another neighbor said, for such a little child, hopeless. I don't think there's going to be a good end to this. Everyone knows it. Sykes agreed, her voice heavily with emotion. Unfortunately, I don't. She said 6-month-old ain't been seen since 7 o'clock yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't. That's the sad part. I don't. Oh, wait, that baby. I want justice for this baby. Because, it is true, like, you're a grown man. You would run after, you would chase after those people. You would call 911 and be like, look, the people who just robbed me, they went in this car, they took off this way, this is where they went, I'm following them, I just want my baby to be safe and well. I hope there's justice and to be served for this little baby. Oh my god. If the dad didn't want the baby, like I said, you could have gave the baby away to the mother or to a family member who would take care of him. Look at his charges. He has unrelated charges involving, Mary Jane distribution, driving with a suspended license, and child restraint violation. If he has a child restraint violation, then why is he with the child? That's what I want to know. That is what I want to know. Seriously. Now, another case I like to talk about in tonight's live stream is about Kayda Scott. I'm very new to this case, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe they said that today they found human remains that allegedly belonged to Kayda Scott. Before we get into it, let's see who Kayda was, what happened to Kayda, and then we'll read the latest news. Shout out to Crime Timelines. If you or anyone you know is interested in the true crime world, wants to start a podcast, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know where to get topics, Crime Timeline is the best website to use. This is not sponsored, by the way. Just shouting them out because I always use them for all of my cases, and I think they deserve the biggest shout out ever. Shout out to Crime Timeline. They have literally all the cases you need, from Kayda Scott, Charlie Kirk, Ellen Greenberg, Emmanuel Hotto, Madeline Soto, Casey Anthony, and other cases. They don't have all the cases, but they have some cases. They've been updated as it goes on daily, and they even put extensive affidavits, court records, autopsy, anything you need. Crime Timelines got you. So let's figure out who Kayda Scott is and what happened to her. So Kayda Scott was a 23-year-old college-educated, ambitious young woman working in elder care and pursuing pageant goals. In the days before her disappearance, she told her family about receiving harassing calls. On October 4th of 2025, she left her overnight shift and vanished less than an hour after arriving. Her car remained parked at her workplace and her phone went silent. After extensive searches and community efforts, Philadelphia police, aimed by the FBI, arrested a 21-year-old suspect on kidnapping charges. Despite the discovery of her belongings, Kayda remains missing, and the investigation is ongoing under homicide supervision. This is Kayda Scott. So let's hear a little bit of the timeline. So Kayda Scott, she was 23. Her birth year is either between 2001 to 2002. She lived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Her parents are Kevin and Kim. So Between 2001 and 2002, Kata was born. Her childhood to teen years, raised in a close family, described as kind, motivated, and ambitious, attended local Philadelphia area schools, exact schools is not published. Between 2019 and 2023 was her college year. She attends Penn State University, described by family as hardworking and passionate about helping others. Early 2025 begins pursuing interest in modeling and beauty contests, prepares for or participates in Miss Pennsylvania USA or similar pageant circuit. Social media accounts show positive demeanor and active online presence. September 2025 begins employment at the Terrace of Chestnut Hill, an assisted living facility in Philadelphia. She works overnight. She works from 10 at night to 6 a.m. Confides in family that she's been receiving harassing and disturbing phone calls in the days leading up to her disappearance. So Saturday, October 4th, 2025 was the last known night that Kata was seen. So Kata leaves her home on the 83 block of Rodney Street to drive to her job at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill, 495 East Abington Avenue. Family later confirmed she was in good spirits when leaving home. 10 p.m. arrives at work for her overnight shift. Assigned to routine duties, coworkers later confirmed she appeared normal and calm at the start of her shift. Between 10:30 and 10:45 at night, last known sighting of Kata, she reportedly, quote-unquote, stepped out during her shift and never returned. No witnesses have confirmed where she went afterwards. From 11 to 6 a.m., Kata did not return inside the facility. Her car remained parked in the employee parking lot. No phone calls, texts, or social media actively occurred after this time. So Sunday, October 5th, she was reported missing at 6 a.m. Kata's shifts end. She does not check out or respond to messages. Coworkers contact her family when she fails to return home. So the morning and afternoon, the family searched local routes between her home and workplace. Kata's vehicle is found in the facility parking lot. Her keys, phone, and other belongings are missing. A missing person report is filed with Philadelphia Police Department. October 6th through 9th, it's an early investigation. Family organizes community searches. Police trace her cell phone. The last possible signal is believed to be near Albury Arboretum, which is 2 miles from her workplace. Officers began interviewing coworkers, family, and receive recent contacts. Authorities learned of prior harassment phone calls she received before she vanished. So on the 10th of October, Philadelphia Police and K-9 units conduct a large-scale search of Albury Arboretum, East Germantown. The site is treated as a potential dump or transfer location based on phone data. No conclusive evidence or human remains are located. Between October 11th and 13th, investigators expand the search to surrounding wooded areas and abandonments. Family continues outreach, missing person flyers distributed citywide. Case escalates from local precinct to special units victim oversight. The next day, on the 14th, homicide units joins. Philadelphia homicide detectives officially joined the investigation. Authorities suggest Kata, quote-unquote, did not leave voluntarily, end quote. Police maintain that the case remains active and ongoing, but stopped short of declaring it a homicide. On the 15th, they arrest the suspect. So in the morning to the afternoon, police announced the arrest of Keon King, 21, on kidnapping charges in connection with Kata Scott disappearance. Investigators state that King was in communication with Kata in the days before she vanished. Detectives recovered a 1999 gold Toyota Camry. The front end is damaged, believed to be linked to the case. At 3:10, car located and towed to the Gypsy Lane condominiums in East Falls. Later that day, investigators searched the grounds of Ada H. Lewis Middle School, abandoned near Albury Arboretum. Physical evidence recovered includes personal items belonging to Kata. In the evening, the bail is set at $2.5 million for King, charged with kidnapping and related counts pending. On the 16th, which is a few days ago, FBI assists Philadelphia Police. Family continues public appeals, vigils, and awareness campaigns. Police confirm homicide detectives are signing, but the case remains classified as missing person / kidnapping until further notice. Family launches GoFundMe to assist in search and potential legal support. The current status of the case of the 16th is Kata Scott is still missing. No confirmed sightings since the night of October 4, 2025. Suspect Keon King charged with kidnapping, under investigation for possible involvement in her disappearance and an unrelated prior kidnapping case. Lead agencies: Philadelphia Police Department, Homicide Unit, Special Victims Unit, FBI assisting. Wow. So, hang on. Night. So, just to unravel that. Before Kata went missing, she was receiving harassing calls. Okay. And they arrested Keon King because Keon King was the last person who was in contact with Kata. He talked to her a few days prior she went missing, if I'm not wrong. Yes. Was in communication with Kata in the days before she vanished. Could he allegedly be the guy who was harassing her? Because remember, she was getting harassing calls and messages. Wow. And she vanished while she was working. Less than an hour after she started her shift. Oh my god. Okay, boom. This is what I was saying. Crime Timelines updated it for you guys. So today, October 18th, the discovery of human remains in East Germantown. At 10 a.m., following an anonymous tip from the public investigators search a wooded area between the closed Ada H.H. Lewis Middle School located near the Aubrey Arboretum in East Germantown. Police uncovered a shallow grave containing the remains of a female believed to have been buried for approximately 1 week. Formal identification remains pending with the Philadelphia Medical Examiner Office, but the law enforcement source confirmed that investigators believe the remains belong to Kata Scott. Authorities state that Keon King, already in custody on kidnapping and unrelated charges, will face additional charges, including murder. Investigators noted that cell phone location data placed Scott and King together shortly before her phone went offline, identifying him as the last person known to have contact with her. The area surrounding the school was secured for forensic examination, and detectives coordinated with the district attorney's office to prepare for upgraded charges. But didn't they search there like a few days before? Where did they search? On the 15th. So not that too long ago. They searched the school. That's why I'm like, did they not see the shallow grave then? Or allegedly, could Keon King had help? Do we allegedly think that the person who called anonymously have help or knew where Keon put her? Because, I mean, the day he got arrested, they searched that middle school and all they found was her personal items. And then today on the 18th, they went back because they got a tip. And it was behind the school was where they found the shallow grave. But I'm like, if they were searching there prior, wouldn't they have noticed the grave there? Or do we think that somebody put her there after he got arrested, called in, allegedly, it's all alleged in my opinion, been like, hey, I believe in this, if you go look here, you're gonna find something, and boom, they found remains. Like, who, like, is police gonna go and talk to the anonymous person who called? I'm very, you know what I'm saying? I have questions, lots of questions. No, I don't want to start whatever that is. Sorry. She is such a beautiful girl. She's so beautiful. Does it? Oh, it don't move? Uh-oh. Oh, I think I gotta... Alert? Hang on. Escape? Hello? What's going on here? Okay. I don't know what happened to my computer, but let me see. Hang on. I think Miss Kata wants me to show you her. She's such a beautiful young woman. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. I had to just reload. All right. So everything is going to be linked on my Discord if you guys want to watch the press conference. I don't want to play videos tonight because I'm scared StreamYards is not going to show the audio. But everything's on Discord if you guys want to go and look at it. This is Keon King, and this is the car he was driving. So they are searching the car, towing it, looking around. Oh, he just looks creepy. Oh, Lord. He looks creepy. And he did this in broad daylight. Like I'm saying, allegedly, could Keon King be the guy who was harassing her and stalking her? But why, though? Why were you harassing her and stalking her for? Allegedly, if you were, why? And there's a presser. If you guys want to go and look at it, it'll be on my Discord. So who's Keon King? So Keon King is a 21-year-old man from South Philadelphia, has a documented history of violent and invasive behavior towards women and police. In early 2025, he was charged with kidnapping and assaulting another woman, but the charges were dismissed after the victim did not appear in court. Just months later, King allegedly became involved with 23-year-old Kata Scott, who vanished after leaving her job on October 4, 2025. No matter if the woman didn't show up to court, I think the judge should have still gone on and still charged him with kidnapping and assaulting her. If he would have done that, he wouldn't have done, he would have never been in contact with Kata. Following a 2-week investigation involving multiple police divisions, King was arrested and charged with kidnapping and Scott's disappearance. Evidence recovered from an abandoned school and his damaged Toyota Camry links him to her case. The investigation remains active, with authorities suspecting the pattern of predatory violence and potential additional victims. So who is Keon King? So as of October 2025 of this month, he's 21 years old. He was believed to be born between 2003 and 2004. He drives a 1999 gold Toyota Camry, vehicle linked to both Kata Scott disappearance and prior criminal case. Criminal record, he has multiple prior arrests in cases involving kidnapping, assault, and fleeing police and driving without a license. 2025 kidnapping and assault case charges dropped, later refiled. They should have never dropped them. They should have kept them. They still should have prosecuted him. March 2025, King fled from a police traffic stop. June 2025, King ran from officers on foot. Demonstrates a pattern of avoiding law enforcement. He should have been in jail since the beginning. I mean, you fled from a traffic stop. They should have threw you in jail, left you in there. Early 2025, approximately January, spring, accused in a violent kidnapping and strangulation case involving a woman he allegedly knew. The victim reported being choked, bitten, and held against her will. King charged with kidnapping, aggravated assault, and recklessly endangering another person. Like I said, why didn't they keep him? They should have just kept the charges and threw him in jail. October 2nd, just before 2 days before, he was charged with driving without a license. Then October 4th, she disappears, Kata, after leaving her job at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill. The investigators later determined that King was the last person in communication with her that night. They reportedly met shortly after she stepped outside her workplace between 10:30 and 10:45. Between October 5th to 13th, King becomes a person of interest in the missing persons investigation. His gold Toyota Camry is identified through witness statements and camera footage. Investigators link his prior kidnapping case to a similar pattern of predatory behavior. On the 14th, King is located and arrested. Charges filed: kidnapping, unlawful restraint, false imprisonment, recklessly endangering another person, stalking, driving offenses. He is booked into the Huron-Foreman Correctional Facility pending arraignment. On the 15th, they recovered his vehicle. They also searched the middle school. Evidence found linking Ada Scott and the site. Bail set at $2.5 million. Next day, on the 16th, police confirmed homicide units insisting the Scott case. Prosecutors announced intention to refile prior kidnapping charges against King. So he is charged with kidnapping, ransom, proceed to court, false imprisonment, proceed to court, criminal use of communication facility, proceed to court, stalking, repeatedly commit acts to cause fear, proceed to court, recklessly endangering another person's, proceed to court, tampering with fabric physical evidence, proceed to court. He has a he's just a walking red flag, and you just let the walking red flag walk out like nothing, really. Pattern of behavior. Police describe King as displaying a consistent pattern of predatory targeting of women, using manipulation and violence. Social media evidence. Videos have circulated showing King allegedly attempting to break into a home belonging to a previous victim. Prior victims, authorities believe there may have been other unreported victims. They have been urged the public to come forward. Vehicle evidence. The recovered Toyota Camry was reported advertised online for sale on September 2025, consistent with his attempt to dispose of the vehicle. So he tried to sell his vehicle, really? Wow. Do we have his docket? We do. Okay. So Mr. King has... Okay. So status, trial. He has a trial coming up on the 11th. 11/4, so next month on the 4th at 9 a.m. And then he has, what is this? Whoa, okay. So he has a pre-trial conference, okay, on November 3rd at 9 a.m. So the day before, on the 3rd, he has to be in court at 9 a.m. for a pre-trial conference. And then on the 3rd as well, he has another pre-trial conference. And this is for what? It doesn't really say. So on the 3rd and the 4th, he has to show up to court, basically. Right? The 3rd and the 4th. Yeah, so on the 3rd, he's going to be in court pretty much all day. The 3rd and the 4th. Well, if they live stream it, I'm going to talk about it for sure. Yeah. For sure. I'm definitely going to talk about it. Let me close some tabs before my computer decides to go bazonkers. So 3rd and the 4th, save the date, guys. I'm definitely going to come back and talk about the Kata Scott case. If they do let it be public and be shown for the Keon King, because apparently he has to be in court next month, literally coming up soon. But I want to read this ABC article. Human remains found belonging in shallow grave, believed to be missing Philadelphia woman Kata Scott. Human female remains that were found in the shallow grave on the grounds of abandoned school are believed to be 23-year-old Kata Scott, a Philadelphia woman who was missing for 2 weeks. A spokesperson for the Philadelphia Police Department told ABC News on Saturday evening police said the medical examiner office will work to confirm the identity of the remains and to determine the cause of death. While conducting a search of the property, investigators discovered a shallow grave and recovered human remains believed to be those of Kata Scott, police said in the statement. It's heartbreaking development, and our thoughts are with Kata's family and loved ones during this extremely difficult time. The Philadelphia Police Department remains committed to uncovering the truth and ensuring justice is served, the statement continued. The remains were found in a heavily wooded area after police received a very specific anonymous tip overnight, and officers searched the area around 10 a.m. local time on Saturday. First Deputy Commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department, John Stanford, told reporters during a press briefing on Saturday evening. Stanford added that the police had been in touch with Scott's family following the discovery of the remains. Philadelphia Mayor Sherrell L. Park said in a statement on Saturday that the city will continue to support Scott's family amid their unimaginable pain and turmoil. I pray that God will give the family a certain peace and passes all understanding to meet at this moment. Parker said, "The city of Philadelphia is here to support them in a way that we can. We will continue to stand by their side." Remains found Saturday were located in a deeply wooded area behind Ada H. Lewis Middle School, an abandoned school near Albury Auditorium in Germantown, an area that was central to the search earlier this week, police said on Saturday. While searching the school grounds on Wednesday, they located items believed to belong to Scott, including a cell phone case, an iPad case, glasses, and a card bearing her name. Items were discovered by police and are under forensic investigation, they said. Scott was last seen by her mother on October 4th when she was leaving for work at a nearby nursing home. Police said last week Keon King, 21, was previously charged with kidnapping for his involvement in the disappearance of Scott, authorities said. On the evening of October 4th, Scott arrived at work but left prior to her shift completion. Philadelphia Police Captain John Craig said during his press conference last week it was not clear what time Scott left work, but officials said her shift typically was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Scott was reported missing to police on October 5th, with law enforcement saying they had some concerns more than usual regarding her disappearance due to worrying phone calls she was receiving. In the days leading up to her disappearance, Ms. Scott related to her family and friends that unknown individual or person had been harassing her via phone. Officials said evidence shows Scott was in communication with an individual they identified as King, and that she appeared to meet him very shortly after she left work on October 4th. Mr. King is the last person to believe it to be in contact with her when she went offline, Ashley Kowalski, the Philadelphia Assistant District Attorney, said during a press conference on Wednesday. Police were previously asking the public's help in locating suspect's vehicle, a 1999 metallic gold Toyota Camry and with Pennsylvania license plates, which they believe Scott may have been in. Later that day, police confirmed ABC News that King's vehicle was found in the apartment complex. Officials said they received 2 tips. The first led them to an elementary school where they recovered evidence of value, and the second that led them to a vehicle connection to Scott's disappearance. The 23-year-old's father, Kevin Scott, told ABC News the family remains confident she's going to be with us as soon as possible. It's been difficult, extremely difficult. We kept faith that she's okay and she's going to be with us as soon as possible. She's going to be found and hopefully no harm is done to her. I'm going to keep the positive vibe going. So, like I said, I mean, he's had a past of stalking and harassing people. Could he have met Kata? Allegedly, could he have met Kata online, like on Facebook, Instagram, social media, Facebook dating, somewhere? Was like, hey, I want to see you. She's like, I want to take it slow, whatever. He probably couldn't take no as an answer or take that as an answer, so he started stalking her. He started, harassing her. Things like that. Like they said, the night she disappeared, they were together. So, put 2 and 2 together. And yeah, from the get-go, he's had a past. No matter if the woman didn't show up to court, the previous girl who pressed charges against him didn't show up to court or not, if I were the judge, I still would have prosecuted him whether she showed up or not and threw him behind bars, because you're putting another predator behind bars and you're saving another young woman's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, lately, judges have been fumbling a lot. And a lot. In a lot of cases we've seen on the news and talked about. I think that judge should have been like, you know what? The victim didn't show up. I'm still going to charge you. You're still going to go to jail. You're still going to go to prison. And if that would have happened, Kata would have been, alive. She would have been alive and well. But my prayers and condolences go out to Kata's family, to Nakai Pratt's family, and to the 5-year-old little baby girl who had to deal with what she went through. I mean, these cases literally broke my heart because I was like, oh my God. But that's going to conclude the podcast. Now, everybody has been talking. They have been saying her name. They've been talking about her all over the news. And I think you know what case I'm talking about. I am talking about the case of, let me pull it up. Hold on. Give me a second because my computer takes a while. I am talking about the case of Ellen Greenberg. Ellen Renee Greenberg. Now, I'm not going to talk about it tonight on this pre-recorded live. I want to talk about it on live with you guys. I want to hear your guys' opinion. What do you think about the court saying that, with all the evidence and everything, that this was a self-deletion, that she did this all to herself? Leave a comment down below. In my opinion, I don't think someone could do that. This case, along with many other cases that I've seen, is a case that is so mysterious and very so like, oh my goodness. But I am going to show you something from Reddit that somebody put that it caught my attention. And I'm going to read you a CNN report. And I don't know if it's going to pop up. I actually found documents. And shout out to Crime Timeline. Crime Timeline has all the documents. But Grizzly, or Griselda, shout out to Grizzly True Crime. She's the best. You guys go subscribe to her. I saw her the other day. She was reading this document, and I actually found the document online. What is loading? Oh, that's loading. And it's a 32-page document. Very detailed. And I want to read it with you guys, but I think I'm going to save this 32 document for tomorrow. That'll be the first thing we read. So tonight, I'm going to give you a little background on who Ellen Greenberg was. And then tomorrow, we're going to do the full live stream of the Ellen Greenberg case. And we're going to read everything, and I mean literally anything and everything that I could find. So Ellen Greenberg was born June 23rd of 1983 in New York City. She was the only child of Joshua and Sandra Greenberg. 1994. The family moved to Harrisburg from New York. Ellen attended Susquehanna Township Middle Schools. After graduating high school, Ellen attended Penn State University. While at Penn State University, she worked as a lion designer, where she introduced athletes and their parents to the campus and even helped out on the football field. Ellen graduated from Penn State with a degree in communication. She planned on becoming a speech pathologist, but never realized it wasn't the right career path. Right career path for her. She then attended Temple University at night to earn her teaching credentials. After Ellen obtained her teaching credentials, Ellen began her career as a first-grade teacher at Wanatana Park Academy. So, that is a little background of Ellen. I'm going to read you the rest of it. Now, I'll read this part right here. Actually, is it a long timeline? I'm going to just read you this part, and then tomorrow we'll finish the timeline. So, what happened to Ellen Greenberg, and why is her case pretty much all over the news? Why is her case being talked about now? So Ellen Greenberg was a 27-year-old first-degree teacher from Philadelphia who was found dead in her apartment on January 26 in 2011 with 20 stab wounds, including 10 to the back of her head and neck. She also had numerous bruises in varying stages of healing. Despite the violent nature of her injuries, the Philadelphia medical examiner ruled her death as a suicide, a decision made after police urged a change from an initial classification of homicide or undetermined. The case was remained highly controversial, with many experts and her family and supporters questioning the official ruling and pointing to evidence that suggests foul play. So, I was on Reddit. Like I said, we're going to finish the rest of it tomorrow. I was on Reddit and someone was like, you know, on Hulu, there's the documentary of the, I think it was what, apartment number something, 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 what happened to Ellen Greenberg. You can watch it on Hulu or you can watch it on Disney, I believe. I haven't watched it yet. I was actually going to watch it tonight. So this person was like, just finished the Hulu series, Suicide versus Murder. Reasons why I think it's a suicide. So he gave his reasons on why, or this person gave the reasons why they think it was a suicide versus why it was a murder. So I'm going to read you the self-deletion part, and then tomorrow we're going to discuss more of it, and I'm going to read you the document that Grizzly True Crime read, and I want you to think, okay, if you think it was a suicide, do you still think it is? Or do you think it was a homicide and there's foul play involved? Because I have literally all the documents, literally everything, even the autopsy pictures and the demonstrations. Like, not the demonstrations, but the models that they did. So this person says, like I said, tomorrow we'll go more into the case. So if you don't know who Ellen Greenberg is and the details of the case, don't worry. Tomorrow I'm going to do a full deep dive on it. So number one was her anxiety leading up to the day. Was it work-related pressure from work, pressure from planning a wedding, or being in an abusive relationship? Could it be all of the above? But even her colleagues made a comment to his daughter-in-law that day of calling her crazy when they were leaving school early that day because of that snowstorm. He said in the documentary she seemed on edge and had to, quote, talk her off the ledge. In a way, it seemed she was an open book and would tell her friends she was not doing well. But on another hand, it seemed she didn't want to disappoint people and kept things to herself. Number two, her medications. Suicidal ideation with med adjustment is a very real thing. She was starting 2 new medications, Ambien and Klonopin, while also weaning off Zoloft, I believe, dangerous if not monitored closely. So one of the medications that she takes for anxiety is called clorazepam, and that is the most common pill that anyone who has anxiety takes. I used to take it when my mom passed away. I had serious bad anxiety. I would take it pretty much daily because I was having panic attacks to the core. When you're starting it, you feel very anxious. You feel very like, oh my God, what's going on? But when it comes to suicide, I never got those tendencies when I took it. Like I said, people are different. People could have different side effects in it. I believe in the bottle of the clorazepam, it does say you feel drowsy and sleepy, and sometimes I don't know if it does. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it does say that you get tendencies. I never got tendencies. I know other people who take it and don't have tendencies, but like I said, everyone's different. But clorazepam is very common in a lot of people who have anxiety. They take that medication. It just makes you very sleepy after you take it. You have to take, like, I believe half the pill, not the whole thing, just half of it. And it makes you very like sleepy, very down. It calms you down from your anxiety. That's what it does. Number 3, the hesitation wounds. Okay, they didn't explain that. But number 4, the door being locked / door latch. Unless Sam went to the front desk guy asking him to unlock the door, knowing he wasn't allowed to leave that desk, what are the chances he said yes and went up with him? Would Sam lie and say, oh, she's calling me back now, never mind? He went down there twice asking for help with the door, which is risky in itself. If the door was never locked to begin with, he has already murdered her and broke the lock already to stage this. Number 5, the towel in her hand. Not sure how that plays into this, but it could be a way for her to bear down and have something to squeeze into during her own strikes, kind of like to tolerate the strikes. Think of someone who has to pop a bone back into place during an injury with no assistance around. They're always biting into something to tolerate the pain for the moment. It makes me wonder about the head and neck strikes. Was that a way for her to numb her other strikes? I'm not sure. Number 6, they were together 3 years before they got engaged, and all of a sudden became so withdrawn and down that people in her life noticed. But also, she never, not once mentioned to anyone, including her psychiatrist, that he was abusing her if he did. No diary entries of some sort or text messages to friends. Maybe he was love bombing her during the courting and dating phase and became more abusive once they were engaged. So that's that person's opinion on why they think she self-deleted herself. Let me know what you think. If you think she did self-delete herself, do you think this person is pointing out the points that you think why she did it? Or do you think this was foul play and it was a homicide and you're like, no, I can't see that, you know? But tomorrow I'm going to read you the reasons why this person thinks it was a murder. But I'm going to read you this quick little NBC article before I end it. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a full day of Ellen Greenberg. So the Philadelphia Medical Examiner reaffirms its finding that Ellen Greenberg's death was a suicide. So in 2011, school teacher Ellen Greenberg was found dead on the kitchen floor of a Philadelphia apartment with some 20 knife wounds and numerous bruises. A city medical examiner ruled her death as a suicide, a finding rejected by the 27-year-old parents who were convinced she's been murdered. Their 14-year-old quest for the truth prompted multiple lawsuits, numerous headlines, and an online petition with 167,000 signatures and a new Hulu documentary series named Death in Apartment 603. Earlier this year, this pathologist who performed her autopsy reversed his findings, saying he no longer believed Greenberg unalived herself. But on Monday, the Philadelphia Medical Examiner Office, after reviewing the case, evidence in the case, issued a report reaffirming its earlier finds in a 32-page document. I have that page. Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Lindsay Simon concluded the matter of Ellen Greenberg's death is best classified as a suicide. In a report, Simon wrote that at the time of her death on January 26 in 2011, Greenberg was suffering from anxiety over her work as a school teacher, specifically over grades she was giving her students. She had an increase in energy to act on her own anxious thoughts, Simon wrote. At least one of the many knife wounds on Greenberg's body was to the back of her neck. While Simon found that the pattern wounds was adamantly unusual, she added the fact remains that Ellen would be capable of inflicting these injuries herself. Simon described many of Greenberg's injuries as consistent with hesitation wounds, tentative self-inflicted injuries that can precede a fatal wound. Greenberg's body was found by her live-in fiance, Sam Goldberg, who called 911 and later found himself a suspect of scrutiny over her death. The medical examiner determined that he and Greenberg were not in an abusive relationship and that that Goldberg's DNA was not detected on the knife used to inflict Greenberg's injuries. His self-reported timeline of events is collaborated by phone logs, text messages, and surveillance footage, key card swipes, and police interviews. Simon wrote, she added the authorities found no defensive wounds on Greenberg's body and no signs of struggle in the apartment. Simon stated she reached her conclusion after reviewing the autopsy, police documents, photographs, and testimony from experts, including those hired by Greenberg, plus the Hulu docuseries. But an attorney from Greenberg's parents, who had filed 2 lawsuits against the city of Philadelphia, scoffed off the medical examiner's new report, calling it a deeply flawed attempt to justify a predetermined conclusion. By ignoring key evidence that contradicts suicide, the extensive 3D photometry proving Ellen could not self-inflict all the wounds, unexplained bruises, missing surveillance footage, and an intact lock accounts of a toxic relationship, etc. Simon builds a flimsy case on distorted portrays of Ellen's mental health, propped by cynical distortions of Ellen's managed anxiety, a condition widely experienced daily by over 40 million Americans, that Williams Trask in a statement. The report is an embarrassment of the city and an insult to Ellen and her family, Trask, who represents Jocelyn Sandy Greenberg. Ellen's family just wants the truth. It is clear the truth will not come from Philadelphia law enforcement's machinery. Though Ellen's city turned its back on her, we will continue through other avenues to get her justice for murder by any means necessary. This case, Ellen Greenberg's case, shows you that the system is not a real perfect system, that the system will either cover up, lie, etc. Is basically what we know about the system. I want the justice that Ellen Greenberg deserves. Her family deserves that justice. She deserves justice. Ellen Greenberg deserves justice. And all of us in the true crime community are going to continue to talk about her story and put her name out there because she deserves justice like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, reading this case offline and looking at everything offline, it showed me that the system's not perfect. It's never been perfect. They cover up a lot of shit. I mean, and it's true, is it not? Like, you know, for them to say that it was a homicide, then change it to she self-inflicted herself, she did it all to herself. Why? What made you change your mind from a homicide to a self-inflicted? She did it herself. How can a person self-inflict themselves and do what they did the way they found Ellen? How? Explain to me why. Get up on a podium, do a presser, get up on the podium and explain to me how you think that. Why you think that. Why did you change her, what happened, her death from a homicide to self-inflicted? Why? Why? Just why? Just why? Why? Why did you do that? Did somebody tell you to do that? Did you think, oh, let's just change it to self-infliction? The public's not going to question it. The public is going to question it. This case has been on everybody's mind since the get-go, from the jump, from the beginning when it first came out back in 2011, along with many other cases. Like, come on now, Philadelphia. I mean, come on now. What are you doing here? This is going to conclude tonight's pre-recorded live. I thank you all for listening to this. Please subscribe and give a thumbs up. Tomorrow we have a live stream of Ellen Greenberg, and we're going to talk about literally everything and anything Ellen Greenberg. We're going to read documentations. We're going to see the pictures, everything, like literally everything. But yeah, I thank you guys so much for watching this, for being here. I love you all so much. Bye, guys.